Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, the Dixie fire burning in Northern California nears 500,000 acres. Containment is dwindling as thousands of firefighters race to control it. Local firefighters helping to battle the flames describe the challenges ahead. Plus, the Pentagon will require all U.S. military members to get vaccinated against COVID-19. And the local school district now serving as an example to educators on how to succeed amid a pandemic.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
The Dixie fire burning in Northern California has exploded in size over the last month. It's now the second largest fire in California history. At 489,000 acres, it's only 21% contained. 4 people in Plumas County who were missing amid the fire were found safe. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live in National City, where firefighters from there and across San Diego County are helping to battle this massive blaze up north. Mimi.
Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, I spoke with the battalion chief who's typically here at this fire station in National City, but right now he's up at the Dixie fire serving as a public information officer. I caught up with him today and he says they've had a couple of good weather days, but are preparing for a wind event this week.
We have meteorologists that are on the teams. And so when they start predicting those things, our tactics change a little bit. They might go a little bit from a direct tack to an indirect tack.
National City Fire Department Battalion Chief Mark Beveridge spoke with us from Northern California, where he is currently stationed in Susanville until the 18th. He tells us aside from that wind event they're preparing for, it's also been extremely smoky in the area, which made air attacks from helicopters up above pretty difficult. The fire ravaged the town of Greenville, destroyed hundreds of buildings and homes nearby, while thousands more are threatened in surrounding communities. A total of 4 counties currently have evacuation orders in place for some areas, and crews from across the state are there fighting this, including many teams from here in San Diego County.
We call it a mixed strike team. There are San Diego, Poway, National City, Chula Vista, anybody that has an OES that's available, we'll put into a strike team, and we all train together, so it's almost like it's seamless for us.
And Beveridge tells me he really wants people to know that when San Diego County crews go help with other fires, they make sure they do have enough staffing here locally in case anything happens back at home. We're live in National City. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Yeah, they're up against tough conditions. Thank you, Mimi. Here is a look at the 5 largest fires in California history. Last summer's August complex fire burned more than 1 million acres in Northern California. As we've mentioned, the Dixie fire is the second largest. The Mendocino complex fire scorched nearly 460,000 acres in July of 18. And finally, the SCU Lightning complex fire and the Creek fire each burned nearly 400,000 acres last year. We will continue to monitor the Dixie fire. You can download the ABC 10 News mobile app to first know any new developments as they happen. And the Pentagon will require all U.S. military troops to get vaccinated by September 15th. That announcement came earlier today. The deadline could get moved up if the FDA gives final approval on the vaccines or if infection rates continue to rise. Troops are already mandated to get 17 different vaccines, including shots against measles, mumps, hepatitis, smallpox, and the flu. With that announcement, we are taking an in-depth look at how the military handled a previously required vaccine. Due to the threat that Iraq would use biological weapons, the government mandated the entire military get the anthrax vaccine in 1998. It didn't have FDA approval. Many who refused to take it were disciplined, court-martialed, kicked out of the military, or they decided to leave the service. Some who took the shot had severe side effects, and several legal challenges forced the military to stop and then restart the program until it was eventually reinstated on a limited basis for troops in high-risk areas only. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we speak to a Navy veteran who had an adverse reaction to the anthrax vaccine. And San Diego is requiring all city employees to provide their COVID vaccination status. That's regardless of whether or not they've been vaccinated. The city sent a letter notifying employees on August 2nd, and employees have to report their vaccination status by this Friday, August 13th. In the fight against the pandemic, trends are going in the wrong direction. Hospitalizations and deaths are going up. Today, Arkansas reported the largest number of COVID hospitalizations in the state since the pandemic began. But vaccination rates nationwide are going up. As Isabel Rosales reports, top health experts warn the unvaccinated need to do their part as scientists discover new mutations of the virus.
As kids head back to school,
it is safe. It is not as safe as it could be.
There are worries and debates about how to best protect them from the more contagious Delta variant.
While I understand the argument around not wanting to wear masks because we're fatigued, without question, student safety and staff safety come first.
In at least 7 states, mask mandates are banned.
By state law, we are not going to have mask mandates in the public schools.
Signs the pandemic is getting worse. Hospitalization and death rates have nearly doubled in the past 2 weeks.
It gets me kind of mad that everybody's taking COVID as a joke, and it's not a joke. It's very, very serious.
The number of new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. at its worst in 6 months. Florida just recorded its highest number of cases of all time.
It's so high in Florida that I think that if Florida were another country, we would have to consider banning travel from Florida to the United States.
Despite the promising increase in vaccinations, health experts are keeping a close eye on emerging variants and warn we need to do more.
If you give the virus a chance to continue to change, you're leading to a vulnerability that we might get a worse variant. That variant could evade the protection of the vaccine.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
As of today, fully vaccinated Americans can visit Canada for the first time since the pandemic started. In addition to being vaccinated and getting tested, travelers will also need to fill out an application on the Arrive Can app. And there could be delays due to the number of people who want to cross the border right now. It's not clear yet when the U.S. will reopen to Canadian tourists. And you can keep track of new information on the pandemic by heading to our website, 10news.com. A former LAPD officer faces felony charges in a fatal shooting of a mentally ill man at a Costco in 2019. Salvador Sanchez was arrested today and charged with voluntary manslaughter. The shooting happened in Corona while Sanchez was off duty. He says 32-year-old Kenneth French attacked him inside the store. Sanchez's attorney says he was holding his toddler and he opened fire to protect himself and his child. The shooting killed French and injured his parents. He was not charged initially, but the state attorney general's office reviewed the case and moved forward with these charges.
Some of the biggest names in comedy are putting on a show to mark the 20th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. Comedians Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart, and Amy Schumer, among others, will perform Saturday, September 12th at Madison Square Garden. Proof of vaccination is required for that in-person event. All the proceeds will benefit 9/11 charities.
You know, it's hard to believe that 20 years have passed. My brother Harvey was just 35 years old when he was killed on 9/11. 20 years, passage of time. He's still very much an inspiration for us. He's part of our lives.
What's now the National September 11th Memorial and Museum is the final resting place for Anthony Gardner's brother Harvey and 40% of victims in the World Trade Center attack. Ticket sales to visit the site plummeted by nearly $45 million during the pandemic.
We will never break. We will never break. Build on a foundation strong enough to stay.
In conjunction with the 20th anniversary of the attacks, there are new fundraising efforts and a national campaign encouraging reflection and action. This PSA features a young girl whose grandfather died in the attacks, drawing attention to generations who have no memory of that day. The museum's president says equally as important as teaching history is remembering how America reacted.
The response was profound compassion born of shared grief. It was empathy. It was a sense that we were in this together. It was the coming together. People who hugged strangers on the street just because they knew everyone was feeling the same pain and shock and grief. It was a moment where hope was palpable in the face of adversity, where we understood that we would be resilient, we would rebuild, and we would remember.
The goal is to bring back more visitors to the National September 11th Memorial and Museum. There's also a 20th anniversary commemorative ticket for sale to benefit the Never Forget Fund, so more people can learn about those who were lost.
People like my brother who all they can do was try to comfort their coworkers. They knew they weren't going to be able to get out of their offices. And so in that final time, they showed each other compassion.
You can learn more about the 20th anniversary efforts at 911memorial.org.